Hi, this is Anna Bevan Gravely with NCFREE, and I am joined by Justice Mark Davis, who is running to keep his seat on the Supreme Court. Justice Davis, thank you so much for joining us. Is there anything you'd like to share with our members before we get started?
Thank you so much, Anna. It's really a delight to be here, and I really appreciate you making time. I'm running to keep my seat on the Supreme Court of North Carolina, where I've served since March of 2019. I'll just give you a quick biographical sketch. I'm a lifelong North Carolinian. My wife, Marcia, and I have both lived in North Carolina our entire lives. We've been married 28 years and have 3 children. I received my undergraduate and law degree from the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill. I practiced for 13 years as a litigation attorney at the Womble Carlisle, Sandridge and Rice law firm. I then went to the Department of Justice for 5 years and then was general counsel to the governor of North Carolina for 2 years. I've served on the Court of Appeals of North Carolina for over 6 years. And as I said, I've been on the Supreme Court since March of 2019. I'm very proud to be the first Jewish member in the history of our Supreme Court. And I was able to publish a book about the Supreme Court in the fall of last year. So it's been a busy year.
Yeah. And so having gotten your undergrad and law degree from Carolina, I'm assuming you're a Duke fan?
I actually received an LLM degree from Duke. So
Oh, that's confusing. That's really
wonderful experience, but I'm probably still a Carolina fan.
So we'll just dive into the questions. Which one of the current or recent U.S. Supreme Court justices would you say best reflects your judicial philosophy?
I don't know that there's any one particular United States Supreme Court justice in response to your question that I would point to. In terms of a judicial mentor, I think my biggest mentor has been Burley Mitchell, the former Chief Justice of the Supreme Court of North Carolina. To me, he really exemplified all the qualities that we want in a judge. And he had such a brilliant legal mind and such a great reservoir of common sense that he applied to every case that came before him. When he left the bench, I had the good fortune of being able to practice law with him at the Womble Carlisle law firm. And it was a real joy to get to know him both as a person and to learn from him. And I still consider him my biggest mentor.
Yeah, awesome. So just to expand, what would you say your judicial philosophy is?
You know, as judges, we all take the same oath to fairly and impartially apply the law in every case that comes before us without any sort of preconceived biases or agenda. And I take that very seriously. And that's the way I approach every case. I read the record and the briefs as thoroughly as I can to try to master the facts of the case. And then I do extensive legal research to find precedents from our court and in appropriate cases from the U.S. Supreme Court that have dealt with similar issues. I am a big believer in what lawyers call stare decisis, which is the Latin term for the principle that courts should follow their own precedent. And I try as hard as I can to follow the precedents of the Supreme Court of North Carolina to make sure that when we're deciding an issue today, we're doing it consistently with how we've decided cases involving similar issues in the past.
Yeah. Well, how would you describe the key principles of free enterprise?
Well, to me, at its core, free enterprise is really an economic system where the market, rather than the government, determines the prices for goods and services. And the way that relates to judges is with regard to the protection of property rights. In both the North Carolina Constitution and the United States Constitution, property rights are enshrined. And a big part of the job of our court is to make sure that the government does not disturb the property rights of citizens in a way that violates the constitutions. And it's something we take very, very seriously. And it is not at all uncommon for us to have a case on our court in which the constitutional right to the protection of property is a big issue in the case. In addition to the constitutional cases, there are also a number of common law, if you will, disputes between litigants where we're required to adjudicate property disputes. So ruling on property-related issues is certainly a big part of my job as a justice on the court.
Yeah. So what kind of activities, interests, or jobs did you have when you were in undergrad and then in law school?
Well, in undergrad, I enjoyed writing for the student newspaper, the Daily Tar Heel. That was a great experience. I also had a wonderful internship after my senior year of college. It was put on by what was then called the UNC Institute of Government. Now it's called the UNC School of Government. But what they did is they took about 22 college students from around the state, and they brought us to Raleigh. We all lived in the same dorm, and they placed us in various state agencies. And because I was about to start law school, I asked, and they allowed me to be placed in the North Carolina Department of Justice. And it was such a great experience for me, learning both about the law and about how state government works. So that's an experience that really has stuck with me over the years. In law school, I was honored to serve on the North Carolina Law Review during the summers. I spent one summer doing First Amendment research for a professor at UNC, and another summer working as a summer associate at a law firm. And I've just been very lucky. All of my experiences have really helped contribute to my development, first as a lawyer and then as a judge.
Yeah, awesome. What would you say your greatest accomplishment in your legal career and then in your personal life are?
Well, legally, it's the greatest privilege I've ever had to be a judge, first on the Court of Appeals and now on the Supreme Court of North Carolina. It's just an incredibly fulfilling job. The cases are also important and they're also interesting. And it's truly a labor of love for me and a joy to come to work every day. On a personal level, there's nothing more important to me than my family. As I said, my wife Marcia and I have been married for almost 30 years. We have three wonderful children, ages 22, 18, and 13. So that's certainly what I'm most proud of.
Yeah, awesome. What is your vision for the judicial system? What changes would you advocate for and why?
Well, Anna, the pandemic has really changed everything. And the legal system and the judicial system obviously have not been immune. We never really thought about the fact until now that our legal process largely involved bringing large groups of people together into the same room without any sort of social distancing, at close quarters, without, adequate safety measures. And up until now, it's really never been an issue. But of course, for the last 5 months, it's been a huge issue, as it has been everywhere, not just in our state, not just in our country, but over the world. And judges and lawyers have had to be creative in finding new ways to do the court's business in a way that's consistent with the challenges posed by COVID-19. And technology has played a huge part in that. Around the state, lawyers have been able to participate in mediations and depositions by Zoom. Court hearings have been held by Zoom in many instances. On our court, we've started having oral arguments by WebEx, which is the court version of Zoom, and we probably will have to continue to for some period of time. If there is a silver lining to this awful pandemic, I think it will be that maybe we've learned to do things a little more efficiently than we did in the past. And when the pandemic ends, which we all obviously hope it will very, very soon, hopefully we'll take away some of these, hopefully we'll take away some of these technological advancements we've made. But even before the pandemic, a big priority among the court system has been to make electronic filing, or e-filing as we call it, a reality. It's 2020 and it's just really not efficient anymore for litigants and their attorneys to have to go physically to the clerks of court in all 100 counties and file pieces of paper, as opposed to doing it all from your computer electronically. And it's been a big priority for the court system for a number of years. We're really hoping we'll get the funding we need from the legislature to make it a reality, because the overall goal of the judicial system obviously is first and foremost to decide cases correctly. But apart from that, we want to make it as convenient and easy as possible for lawyers and their clients to litigate their cases, and we want to issue our decisions as quickly as possible. So those continue to be the long-term goals.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you so much for spending time with me and the members of NCFREE. Before we end our time together, where can our members go to learn more about you?
Well, thank you for asking. My website is justicemarkdavis.com, justicemarkdavis.com. It has a number of endorsements. It has more information about my background and other information relevant to my campaign. So I do encourage people to check that out, justicemarkdavis.com.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for your time. I hope you have a great rest of the day and good luck on the campaign trail.
Thank you very much, Anna. It's really been a pleasure speaking with you.